Hey, Scott Fresener here with T-Biz TV and T-Biz Network. I just got back from the large ISS show in beautiful Long Beach, California. I say beautiful loosely because it rained almost every day we were there. In fact, one day I thought it was a hurricane going on site. I felt bad for all the guys from New York and New Jersey and the East Coast who flew out to get out from the bad weather and go to sunny California. This was, I think, the biggest Long Beach ISS show I've ever attended. I sent Jeff Brown, the show manager, show director, whatever his title is, who did a great job. I sent him an email asking for some numbers. I haven't heard back, but my guess, and this is just me, now this is just comparing to other shows, they must have had 15,000 people go through that show. This was huge. You know, in the old days, we used to have exhibits in the aquarium, which was kind of the it had the big whale on the side. If you've ever been to Long Beach, that was where the exhibits first started. Then they built a huge convention center, and in the old days, they used to have exhibits in the arena, the aquarium. I say aquarium loosely because it's really an arena. They used to have exhibits there, and then they had them in the main hall. Then it kind of died off where the main hall was the main area. They didn't use the arena. This year they had the arena set up pretty cool, actually. They had a couple of exhibitors there, not a lot, but they had the lounging areas, kind of cabana areas like you'd see at a poolside with drapes. Almost felt like I could pull out my cigar and go have a quick smoke. They had food trucks, very, very cool. And they also had a stage where they were giving, people can give free seminars. They had Greg Kitson and various other speakers giving free seminars back there. That was very cool. And then between the arena and the main hall, huge kind of walking area was where Ryanette had their booth. And so Ryanette had a huge display there. You know, it was actually kind of neat to see the Ryanette display because I remember Ryan Moore starting off as he played in a band. He was one of my bigger dealers, but he was just an internet selling shirts kind of a guy. Got into the supply business a long time ago, and then when U.S. Screen Print closed, it was kind of an opening, I think, that they kind of moved into. And those guys are the 1,000-pound gorilla now. They sell the S-Rock printer, which has become very popular. It's a printer out of Portugal that's got a lot of installs. He told me they had over 200 installs, and that's a lot for just having sold S-Rock for a few years. But Ryan had a huge display showing everything from the S-Rock small bag printer to the folding machine, and they had this huge footprint. At this show in the past, they would typically do a 20 by 20 booth or maybe a little bit bigger booth, but they've really come a long ways. Now this show had a great turnout for the seminars. In fact, last year it was really good too. You know, in the old days, and I mean old days meaning 20, 30 years ago, we would have speakers would have 200 people in a room. I think there were times when the topics were dark shirts, when they were really kind of in their infancy. I remember one seminar I think Mark Coudray had where they had to open up the air wall between the rooms, and they had over 300 people. But that kind of died off, and so until the last few years, you'd be lucky to get 30, 40, 50 people in a seminar, and I think it's a good indication of what the shows are about and what the T-shirt economy is about. This year, they had breakout numbers again. I did a pre-show workshop on color separating, and this was pre-show. I had 60 people at my workshop. This was hands-on, bring your computer. Charlie Toblieb did his first water-based and discharge ink all-day seminar. He was a little worried about ink drying in the screens and having to manage about 75 people all trying to get a print. Dane did a seminar on Photoshop, and I was blown away that Epson provides a room, and my good buddy and former employee Terry Combs and Wade Rowan, who now work for Equipment Zone, they had a huge room with 3 rear screen projectors with cameras on the DTG printers, doing a DTG Epson F2000 seminar. I thought I was going to a rock concert when I walked in that room because of the large wide screens they had. And that was an all-day seminar. Terry said they had about 75 to maybe 80 people. I think they had 100 or 125 signed up. And I say free. I'm not sure if it was free or not. I don't recall, but I think it was free, sponsored by Epson. So the pre-show workshops were well attended. During the show workshops were the same way, and again, this is a good indication. I know I talked to Mark Coudray. He had 100 people one day, and he had 100 people the next day. And again, those are great numbers for these seminars. So that's a good indication of the strength of the industry. You know, as usual, while I was there, I was hanging with my good buddy Richard Greaves, and Richard and I were kind of walking the show. This show has a very strict policy on no cameras in the show on the show floor. I think that's kind of old school now that everybody has cell cameras. You walk around, everybody's taking pictures, but it's in the program, and I try and respect that. And those guys know that I'm going to do videos, so I do most of my video interviews up in the entranceway outside in the lobby area where you can do whatever you want. I could take video interviews in someone's booth, and we did a couple of those on the show. I did a number of interviews, including my good buds Terry Combs and Aaron Montgomery from the old U.S. Screen days. We talked out of school and had a good time. I talked to Marcine Kinder from SGIA. She's always got a wealth of information about what the association is doing. Of course, talked to Mark Coudray, and he's got always something going on, some new deal. Mark is, as he said in his interview, getting a little bit away from technical type of training and articles to more selling and marketing and social media and growing your business and stuff like that. I talked to Marshall Atkinson, had a nice interview with him. Brian Walker from Image Armor, and he showed me some new stuff he had there. You know, the booths were slammed at the show, and of course M&R always has a huge footprint, a huge presence. I've never seen their booth so busy. And they were the real 1,000-pound gorilla with what's happening for the future. They brought out what they call their digital squeegee. The funny story is Pierre from the shirt boards had seen it. We were in another part of the hall. He was going to go see it, and he pictured it as being a little squeegee that you fit into a screen, and that was a great idea and a great name for it, and it would just make a digital print. It wasn't like that. It was much bigger than that, obviously. But M&R brought out there what they call their digital squeegee, and this is the future. You know, we were working on this at U.S. Screen years ago. We thought this was going to be the future, something that could roll up to an automatic press and be that additional head. Now, M&R had it on large press with lots of pallets going around that you didn't need, of course, because they were printing white, flashing, printing white again. I think they were flashing it again to get nice bright white. They said that they've been testing all kinds of white inks because not all white inks are compatible with inkjet inks, and the inkjet inks won't stick to them. And you've got to find something that's going to give you opacity. So they were using traditional screen print, which I'm all for. Worked out well. And then the machine cycles and goes under the inkjet head, and this thing did a print in about 4 seconds. And I know Rich has been talking and teasing all of us with, I'm going to have a machine that'll print in 5 seconds or 4 seconds. This has been the last couple of years. And so this thing was a thing of beauty, and I think it is the future. Now, this was around $350,000, and it would roll up to basically almost any press. Of course, the pallets have to be perfectly level, so there are some things that you have to watch out for. But this was a beta, and we had a nice conversation with Rich Hoffman, and he really is on the cutting edge and has the manpower and the muscle. In fact, he said that M&R is trying to get into an inventory position, whereas we talked to Rich a year and a half ago, and he was saying they were 3 or 4 weeks out, 2 months out. Now he's going to get it where you can be in an inventory position. You need a new gauntlet you call up, and they have it on the truck tomorrow. But the digital squeegee was the hot deal. You know, MHM had their big IQ printer at SGIA, and I talked to them, and they're going to, of course, roll out their production version at the Hamburg FESPA show. But I was duly impressed by the digital squeegee, and it is the future, I do believe. You know, I always felt years ago when we were trying to develop a machine that would roll up to an automatic press would be that if you could eliminate the pre-press, eliminate separations, there goes my job, eliminate film output, eliminate computer to screen, and go right from a computer to the printer, it was the way things were going to go. Now, this is obviously a screen printed underbase, been flash cured. No pretreatment of the shirt needed because we're screen printing the white, so we don't need to pretreat the shirt. That eliminates one step. No feel of the pretreat on the shirt. This feels, and this is just a regular Gildan 100% cotton shirt. On top of that, then the print being done, and I think it's a great looking print, great feel. It looks like any kind of a regular simulated process, but you know what? No halftone dots. Nice clean image. There are some halftone dots you can see a little from the underbase, but all the colors are not halftone. That was the dark shirt. Don't know how well this is picking up on the camera. We'll do that. And then they were doing what would be a traditional CMYK print. And you see the video. This thing is printing in 4 or 5 seconds. Yeah, now no halftone dots here because there's no underbase. And so the print quality is excellent on these things, and I think it is the future. You know, you go to these shows with kind of your shopping list. I've been going to the shows the last few years looking to see what Rich Hoffman brought out because, you know, a lot of these guys keep it under wraps. They don't want to promote it too much until they're ready to roll. And many times, as I have been there, and Rich Hoffman even acknowledged that their rip wasn't quite done, sometimes the paint is wet on these things when you take them to shows. We've been guilty of doing that, and you show it, and you acknowledge it's a beta or it's a pre-production model, and people buy into it. And so you kind of go every year. You kind of go looking to see what's new. This year we had shirt vendors were there, and caps and shirts and stuff like that. Rhinestone guys were there. All the usual suspects were there. But I always felt years ago when I was doing DTG that the real secret, other than going digital and automatic press, was to have a pre-treated shirt. We talked years ago to Haynes and Gildan and all the players, and this was back, we're talking 10 years ago or more. It fell on deaf ears. They didn't want to hear it. Too small of a market. You can see now they're all paying attention. But I had heard rumors, and then I saw online that Brian Walker from Image Armor brought out his RTP line called Ready to Print. He's been kind of teasing people with this for quite a while, and he's finally shipping sample packs. I don't know if he has inventory yet, and I should know that, but I don't. I talked to him, and maybe in the interview that you're going to see, if you go online to my Facebook page, you'll see the interviews. But he gave me a couple samples, and we all kind of expected these shirts to have a heavy feel to them. This entire shirt's pre-treated, so you could not have to pre-treat it. You put it on the machine, print on the sleeve, print on the shoulder, whatever. Now, I'm just saying this as a guess. I asked him for a price, and it seemed to me it was about $2 to $2.50, maybe even $3 more per shirt. Don't quote me on that now. Go to Image Armor. I'll show you the web address on the screen here, and it's called the Ready to Print. Nice feel. I talked to somebody else at the show that was very heavily involved in this whole process, and they had tried to pre-treat a shirt, and they found it to be a heavy feel. They just couldn't get away from that. So I think Brian's done a nice job. They do have white shirts that are pre-treated, because a lot of guys now are pre-treating whites to get the prints to pop a little bit. But this is, again, the future. This is where things are going to happen, and I think you're going to see more guys coming out with pre-treated shirts. And it's going to be, you couple that with, as Hoffman has done with screen printing, where you could do an underbase flash, do your inkjet printing, put special effects on it after that, and have really very minimal pre-press. It's going to be a hot deal. The problem with this show for me is I walk around and I know everybody, and so it's hard to get down the aisle. Not only hard to get down the aisles because I keep bumping into people I know, but the booths are packed. It's hard to. I feel guilty walking in and talking to my friends that are working a booth when they got customers lined up, and so I kind of walk around and go, "Hi, how you doing? Talk to you later. Here's my card. Wanted to say hi," and kind of made the rounds. But this thing was gigantic. And then of course you saw the video of the Ryanette booth. It shows you that the automatic guys are out in force and showing their stuff, and people were spending money at the show. DTG was definitely unenforced. Not only did you have Rich Hoffman with the digital squeegee, you had a Cornette was there, and they were packed. And of course, as many of you know, Cornette just sold a ton of printers. I had a number that blew me away, and it was one that would be about 10 times my fingers here that they sold to Amazon. And so one of the Cornette guys was saying that some of the Cornette users were kind of calling, going, "What are we going to do now? Because Amazon has the printers." Well, it's the way it is. It's called Amazon Merch, and Amazon has a bunch of them. And so Cornette was there in force, and they've got a printer that is pretty fast. In fact, I just saw a news release just after the show showing a jersey, a football jersey with a number and a name, nice and bright white. And again, that U.S. screen, we thought that would be the future. Doing individual names and numbers is perfect for DTG. But I'll tell you, Epson was out in force. The Epson F2000 is the other 1,000-pound gorilla in that area. You had the choice of either maybe the digital squeegee goes to your screen print machine, lots of money for one machine. Buy a couple Cornettes, lots of money for a couple of machines, or there's guys that have rooms full of these F2000s or the small, more of the tabletop type of machines. I heard from someone that one of the customers out there, one of the big contract DTG printers, has 180 of the F2000s. That's a lot of DTG printers to manage. We had 30 of our T-Jet Blazers and Zazzle years ago. We thought 30 was a big number. So they were out in force. Epson has a nice distribution network, so Equipment Zone was there. Terry Combs was doing like on the show floor seminars. He had his chairs lined up. Those of you that know me reminded me of the old days of doing Fast Films demos. Aaron Montgomery was there doing seminars, but you found, I'm just guessing, there was probably a dozen different dealers showing the Epson F2000, and it's a popular printer. It's well known. Epson's a big name, and so it was a big deal. Lots of DTG at this show. There's always extracurricular activity That means going out at night. And one thing that's been pre-planned and has been happening at the ISS show in Long Beach for a number of years is the shirt board. It's the shirtboard.com. That's where I run ads with those guys, and it's Pierre and Dan and Andy and a great group of guys that have, I think, the most popular forum in the industry. This is a typical, online forum, and lots of activity on it. They have a dinner at the show. Now, in years past, I haven't been to the dinner until I went this time. In years past, my understanding was that Rich Hoffman kind of foot the bill. I think it's grown a little bit, and I know what it's like to take a bunch of people, 30 or 40, 50 people, to a restaurant and have the tab come up at a lot of money. And so this year it was a little different, and you had to pay $40, no big deal. It was at the Yard House, which for those of you that have been to the Long Beach show or been to the Long Beach show, it's kind of right across, kind of right down from the convention center. Now, at the Yard House, and it wasn't really a private room. It was more booths and a large table. But kind of the who's who were there. I was there. Greaves were there. Coudray was there. Ryan Moore was there. Deborah Sexton was there. The people from Sherlock were there. Lon Winters was there. And it was just kind of a chance to let your hair down and talk to people that maybe you wouldn't get a chance to talk with and have a few drinks. And so that was a great little deal. That was a great event. Here's a little video, poor quality, Scott with a roving camera at this event.
Hey, Scott Fresener here at the Yard House in beautiful Long Beach. Hope you can see me because I can't see myself. Am I looking pretty good? I'm at the Shirt Boards kind of annual or trade show dinner. This is put on by Pierre and Company, and this is from the Shirt Board, which is an online board. And it's got kind of the movers and shakers here. Let's just see who's here. We're going to... Pierre, say hello. Hi, everyone. Nice event. Very nice, very nice. Good turnout, too. Anybody on witness protection? I guess not, huh? All right. Movers and shakers here. This is the movers and shakers. Movers and shakers. Oh, my God. All right. Movers and shakers. Who's the movers and shakers here? You're a mover and shaker. I know you are. I know you are. Oh, the low light is killing me. All right. These whole tables back here are with it. And we've got my buddy Greaves. There we go. And Ryan Moore. And Deborah. And there we go. And then we've got Lon Winters. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you with your mouth full. I'm sorry. All right. Scott Fresener from the Yard House in beautiful Long Beach signing off.
I posted on Facebook. I checked into the Yard House when I was there, and my buddies Aaron and Terry were at the Yard House, not for this event. They saw my Facebook post. They came and hunted me down, and we talked for a minute, and they said, hey, you want to go to a dueling piano bar? And, of course, we've all been to dozens, if not hundreds, of dueling piano bars over the years. But there's one called the Sgt. Pepper's in Long Beach. And so I thought, what the heck, I'll go out with these guys, have a few drinks. And we went out and had a few drinks and kept looking at I looked at the clock and go, holy cow, it's 1:30. I also discovered Uber while I was there. I'm a little behind the times. I haven't traveled as much, and where I've been traveling is mainly to Bowling Green to hang out with my son, Mike Fresener. I haven't really taken many taxis, so Uber is my new best friend. But we went to the dueling piano bar and hung out, had a great time. Of course, not only were the pre-treated shirts a hit, and the digital squeegee a hit, and the fact that there was DTG everywhere. So I think it gives us some credibility. People that were been on the fence, there's still screeners on the fence, but I have an F2000, and we use it. And Mike Fresener's got a business in Bowling Green, and when I was back there working with Mike, we would use it to proof almost every job. So every screen print job, we'd run a quick proof for the customer. There was a lot of talk about third-party ink. You buy ink from Epson, it's pretty pricey, and you buy any of the off-the-shelf inks, it's pretty pricey. But there's a lot of guys showing third-party inks, and so there's lots of talk of F2000 third-party inks coming out. I'm sure Epson isn't too happy about that, but that's inevitable. That happens. And as some of the Epson warranties run out, this printer's been out now, I want to say 3.5, 4 years. As the warranties have run out and there's no more service contracts and guys are searching for heads, other than getting from Epson, the third-party ink's going to be a huge deal. That's my show wrap up. When you get a chance, take a look at my Facebook page. The address is on the screen, and you'll see a lot of the video interviews there. You know, they're short, they're quick. I love Facebook Live. Facebook Live lets me just shoot it and say what I want to say, and it gets uploaded, and it's immediate. I don't have to go home and upload to YouTube or nothing. And so there's lots of Facebook Live videos there. You can always learn something, even if it's a little 10-minute video. You might hear somebody say one little supplier you've never heard of. So check out my Facebook Live videos. And this is Scott Fresener reporting from beautiful sunny Arizona, overlooking the raging Salt River with the Superstition Mountains in the background, saying adios and thanks ISS Impressions Magazine for putting on a fantastic Long Beach ISS show.